For some reason, I was having issues finding that button. Anyway, guys, we are here to review Angel Beats episodes 10, 11, 12, 13. These were by far one of the most emotional episodes in the entire series. One of the most heartfelt episodes in this entire series. And I enjoyed every single one of them. For those of you that probably are just noticing, or probably noticed quite a bit since the start of this video, yes, I know the lighting is different. I know it's not what you're used to, but I had to change it because, well, my lamp, the watts that it had on it didn't work. So I had to exchange it for a different one. And the one that was exchanged for doesn't have the volt, the light wasn't as high as the one I used previously. So because of that, if I were to put it to where how it was before, the position of my lamp, it would look extremely dark. Trust me, I would look really dark. So I had to change it to where it still showed me and enough lighting to where it doesn't come off as unprofessional, I guess, if that makes sense. Maybe later on in the future I'll work on better lighting. So hopefully this isn't an issue. Let me know if you're fine with this lighting. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Is it fine? Nothing to worry about? Are you okay with how the lighting is right now? Or is it an issue to where it needs to be addressed? Let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, let's just get to reviewing the episodes. Never thought in one reaction I would cry twice. Not just one episode, 2 episodes. It was sad seeing, I don't know which one hurts me more, seeing Yui leave because she was happy that someone actually would marry her despite the fact that she was paralyzed. Despite that her condition, someone was still willing to marry her, and she was able to pass away in peace. That was pretty sad. Honestly, that was very sad, but it was heartfelt at the same time. I'm glad that ship happened between Hinata and Yui, because out of all the characters I've seen so far, I pretty much only shipped those two. Because even though I did felt like Otonashi or Yuzuru, however you want to call him, even though it was kind of obvious that since early on in the series that him and Kanade were going to be a thing, or at least he was going to confess, it was just a matter of when. And even though the way how he confessed and how it ended up toward the end was very heartfelt, I didn't really connect with them so much. I mean, I did toward the end. Everything was pretty much up in the open toward the end, and it was like a huge roller coaster of emotion. But for me, the development of Hinata and Yui felt more attached, because don't get me wrong, I did tear up when Kanade left and after Yuzuru pretty much confessed, but I felt more emotion during Yui and Hinata's little confession moment there. So I'm not gonna lie to you, even though I do ship Yuzuru with Kanade, for me, the one that I felt the most strong sense of emotion was definitely has to be between Hinata and Yui. For me, that was the strongest bond compared to what I've seen relationship-wise in this series. So yeah, once again, I'm not saying I didn't like Yuzu or Kanade. It's just between the ones, my favorite ship in this series has to be Hinata and Yui. That's just me. There's one thing that I do want to point out that wasn't so keen on in this series. The shadows. In my opinion, the shadows were very random. But I know the purpose of why the shadows came toward the end is to try to push everyone to accept the fact that they need to move on and they can't linger on this world anymore. So the point of the shadows is to get everyone to it was to move the plot forward and to further convince everyone that they all need to pass on. Because when you think about it, what would you rather do? Would you rather be obliterated by Kanade, or would you rather deal with shadows that'll make you an NPC? Obviously, the logical answer is you rather be obliterated. That way you don't have to deal with them. Even though they were dealt with, who knows when the issue will arise again? We'll never know, because the mystery of that world, once again, it's a mystery. But yeah, I understand the purpose of the shadows. I just didn't like how late they were into the series. So yeah, I wasn't too keen on them, especially when it was literally this, like an overwhelming force that forced Yui into thinking, okay, the war is over, I'm done as a leader, I can finally accept myself and everything, the conditions, because everything she's been doing right now is to secure her place in the world, because she felt like the life she had before was robbed from her unjustly by God. Even though I have to admit, for a second there, I thought she was really gonna go and she was ending up gonna be the main threat. I also felt bad, not really bad, but I kind of felt for whatchamacallit, Yuri, or I guess Yuripi, however you want to call her. She never really had a ship, if you really think about it. I mean, one can arguably say that, I keep forgetting the guy's name, but the idiot, the one with the scythe, he's probably the one that actually had deep down feelings for Yuripi, or Yuri, however you want to call her name. And Maeve could have been a nice ship, but who knows what happened there. I'm also a little not really upset. Once again, these are just nitpicks. They're not really, they don't ultimately ruin the series or anything. It's just little nitpicks, because whenever I review something, I mention the pros with the cons. You have to have pros and cons, otherwise it's not really a full review. So the one thing that kind of gave me a small little gripe was, I didn't like that only Otonashi, Hinata, Yuripi or Yuri, Kanade, and the guy that keeps calling himself God. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. I guess because he always calls himself the vice rep or the vice student body president or whatever, and he keeps calling himself God, that I pretty much forget his name. But yeah, they were the only ones when I would have liked to see everyone else pass on, not just them. I understand that, like, by the time Yuripi woke up, they were all satisfied with their lives and they were willing to go, but I just would have liked to see everyone leave as a group together and they all graduate together, not just the 5. But that's just, once again, a small little gripe. If I were to list off my few favorite things about this show, is they really emphasize on this. The series really focuses a lot on people that went through such horrible, dramatic deaths that were taken unjustly, and really emphasize and pretty much helps you sympathize for the ones that never really had a full life, or really a happy one, a fulfilled one, a contentful one. That when they do pass away, you do feel sad, because you've grown attached to these characters, and because they finally got to experience certain things they couldn't in their previous life, they were able to pass on. But I also felt bad that it also felt kind of random that Kanade, throughout majority of the time of the series, she was that emotionless kind of female character that actually becomes a huge trend in anime series. Like, when it comes to anime, the very quiet, emotionless female characters tend to be one of the most popular ones, believe it or not. But for Yuri, it's like she was like that majority of the series, and then toward the end, literally the last episode, you see her grow some kind of emotion. She's singing, she's smiling, she's accepting, she's speaking her mind, which even though it was good and it's very good for her character because she's been emotionless all this time, I felt like it would have been better if it wasn't just shown toward the end, but gradually as the series went on, you see her open her emotions slowly. Now I know has grown, like there was growth in her character, don't get me wrong, but I would have liked to see like for example in episode 15, in episode 8 she's smiling, episode 9 or 10 she's like humming, singing, and then 11, 12, 13 she's like becoming more of a personality. You know what I mean? That's what I personally think. Not just basically throw everything toward the end. But once again, these are small little nitpicks. They're not what ultimately justify the series, because for the most part the series is pretty good. Very likable characters, funny moments, very funny moments by the way. Very good ending. The ending had closure. The number one thing that sometimes disappoint me about anime endings is that they always end it in some kind of vague kind of way. I'm not saying it always happens, but it happens in anime. But this time, I was worried for a second when it was ending, when it showed like the credits and everything, and the way Yuzuru had to say goodbye to Kanade, and like that was sad. That was a sad. I was gonna say like, bro, this ending is sad. I was getting like air vibes from it, but thankfully it did not end that way, because toward the end, in the last few seconds, there was closure, and that closure was Kanade was humming, and when she was humming, Yuzuru picked that up and they reconnected again in their reincarnated selves. So that was a good thing. The good thing is that in their next life they got to meet again, which was awesome, and it was beautiful. So that was what ultimately saved it from becoming an Air anime. I'm not saying Air is bad, but I just wasn't feeling that ending. I did not like that ending. But with this, the ending was sad, but toward the end they gave you closure, and that ending went from sad to contentful. So yeah, I really appreciate Angel Beats learning their lesson from Air and not making it completely sad and showing something truly uplifting and happy. I don't want to see people, I don't want like a very sad ending, you know what I mean? So even though there's nothing wrong with that, some endings that end sad can sometimes be good depending how it plays out. But yeah. Anyway guys, let's just move on to question 1. Which ship did you enjoy most? And come on, let's be honest, the only real ships, I mean, that were canon anyway, were Hinata and Yui and Kanade and Yuzuru. Which one of those 2 ships do you like the most, and explain why? Question 2. What was the number one thing that you did not like about this? It doesn't mean it ruins the show, because once again, there's no such thing as a flawless show. But what number one thing did you not like that you saw in the show that you wish could have been done differently, or not have it at all? Let me know in the comment section below for the second question. Anyway guys, that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, sub if you haven't already. Really motivates me to put more content out there for you guys as my guildmates, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.